Welcome to In My Opinion 4
Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Number 9 world is filled with peace and robots who help out in everyday life, as well as put on visually spectacular duels in the Battle Coliseum, where all violence is contained. Though one day a virus spreads and makes all the robots turn on humanity. It's up to Dr. White's creation Beck to put a stop to this chaos, and more importantly, stop the leaders of said revolt, his fellow mighty bros and sisters. The story is nothing amazing, and to be honest isn't what you're coming for in the first place, but it's entertaining enough that it doesn't bog down the experience. Think of it as a Saturday morning cartoon. It also helps none of the characters are annoying and fit their role well, like our hero Beck with his I want to save everyone good guy mentality.
Listen to me, Shade. You're malfunctioning. Freedom doesn't require all this suffering.
The goofy coward Dr. Sanda.
It's a good thing I'm not afraid of the dark. At all.
And let's not forget the other mighty numbers who have their own unique personalities, like the wisecracking, fast-talking aviator,
Moments before he fell to his tragic death. Ooh, sorry, Beckham, your segment is getting cut.
or the war-focused battalion. Well, we got ourselves a 2D action platformer here in which you'll be blasting and dashing your way through these levels. The mechanic the game really focuses on though is the dash. You might have noticed as you weaken the enemy they change color. This allows you to dash and absorb their soul. Power. Each color indicates a certain temporary boost for Beck. Yellow for shield, red for power, and green for speed. You don't have to worry about one overriding the other as it all bundles up. It feels like Mighty Number 9 was built for speedruns and going for the high score. This is evident by its short levels, which isn't a bad thing, and the point system implemented in the game. You can even get some score bonuses for things like clearing a room real fast or absorbing a bunch of enemies at once. Also, after absorbing said enemies a certain amount of times, you can get what's basically a health capsule that can come in handy if you're in a bit of a pickle. The core gameplay just felt right. It's fast, responsive, and fun. You're always aiming to get the best combos you can get and hoping for a good rank by the level's conclusion. However, there is one odd level out of the bunch. This is where you play as Call, the blonde and motionless robot. She doesn't play at all like Beck and is intended to be more of a slower paced stealth tactics thing. I get what they were trying to do, I really do, but it doesn't really gel well here. The game allows you to take down any level in any order, which there are 12 in all. The boss fights are the usual fare of you finding out the pattern and blasting them away. While using their weaknesses takes a bigger chunk of their health, you still must dash at them to take away that piece in the first place. The longer you wait, the less health you take. After saving a mighty number, you earn a new power up to tackle more of the game. You will mainly be using this for boss battles, but some do come in handy in non-boss moments. What's also pretty cool is once you take down a mighty number, you can tell the weakness of the next boss by the advice option that pops up for the level. The mighty number that gives you the update on the level will also help you in a certain point in the level itself, making for an easier time. The game also looks out for you, as if it feels like you need some extra help, it spawns a little robot friend at the checkpoints that gives you some goodies. Stuff like the 3 boosters I mentioned, an extra life, or a health capsule. Hell, sometimes it gives you all of that in one shot. You can also organize your powers in any order you want, even picking some quick select buttons, making the experience more fluid. In the same menu you can check out tips if you forgot how the game mechanics work. As you complete the game, you unlock more content for EX mode. This contains things like challenges in which the game gives you certain objectives like get through this level filled with death wires, only be able to use certain powers to get to your goal, some target practice, and more. There's a boss rush mode as well, which has you facing all the bosses from the game in one go. Then finally you got separate challenges that can be done with a buddy, and online race battles where you both compete for points. The only problem is, if you don't have a friend already, it's pretty damn hard to find a random game. Another source of replayability is in the in-game accomplishments with stuff like beat the game on harder difficulty, complete a level without using an item, complete a level with a certain amount of dashes, and much more. You can always check the menu to see what you've done already. This is where the game starts to show its fallings. I'm not gonna lie, it's not that great looking. Backgrounds are pretty bland and simplistic, with only some standouts. Nothing really pops, and the explosions leave a lot to be desired. Another problem I had was the music. I was expecting some catchy tunes when going into this game. After all, it's tied to the legacy of Mega Man, and those games always had catchy music. Sadly, it's pretty flat here, and you will barely remember any songs, as it just kind of falls into the background. Even putting the 8-bit music option doesn't really help. The character models, however, are pretty good, and let's not forget the mighty numbers, which have some great designs. The voice acting is for the most part nicely done.
That's what big sisters are for. I'll just put that charge card.
The only poor acting I found was from Dr. White over here, as he just didn't deliver his lines well.
I see no pattern whatsoever. What in Tyson's name is behind this?
As you may have noticed, they don't really do lip flaps when they talk. It just kinda stays open sometimes. While this is a bit odd, it didn't really hamper my experience. Performance wise, the frame rate while I was playing was kept pretty stable, with only one section in the level dropping really low. I also experienced no crashes like some have been mentioned. Mighty No.9 is a fun game with some fast and fluid gameplay. The dash mechanic is a nice feature that can become addicting when you're trying to do a better run than your last one. The boss designs are creative, and while there is some iffy voice acting, the majority of the cast makes up for it with some good work. Where the game trips over itself is when we get to the presentation size of things. The majority of the levels being kind of flat and bland looking, the music is completely forgettable, and while the frame rate does hold up, it does sink in certain areas. You do have some great replay value though, with boss rush, challenges, accomplishments, races, co-op, and leaderboards. Even though the game is not amazing, I still think you'll have a mighty fine time with this one. Now before I give my usual sign-off line, let me just have a couple of more seconds of your time. It seems some reviews of this game love to solely focus on the backstory of the development of it, and it seems this sways their opinion on said game, which, for the lack of a better word, is just dumb. Some don't even give the game a proper review. Heck, I've seen a review who didn't even mention the side stuff you can do. It's just money this, and can you believe the delays, and so on, and so on. Look, end of the day, you should just give your judgment on said end product, and its backstory to how it was made shouldn't affect anyone's opinion on it, and it really is just a waste of breath. I just had to get that off my chest. So where was I? Oh yeah, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on this game, and for gamer's sake, keep gaming.